Well, first of all, thank you so much for welcoming me to your 1 Million Cups Orlando. I've been to Orlando before. I loved it, and I hope to come back when it's easier to travel again. So thank you so much. I'll go ahead and share my screen and share a little bit with you about We Sparkle and what that is. Let me just share. So again, my name is Michelle Tran Maryns. I am the founder and CEO, or the Sparkler in Chief at We Sparkle. We are a business-to-business software company that helps solopreneurs save time and increase their revenues. That's our big goal, is to work with entrepreneurs and small business owners.
Michelle?
And yes?
I'm sorry to interrupt. If you hit play or play the deck or full screen, the whole slide will fill up our screen.
Great.
There you go.
Yes, and so we provide a really simple, easy to use suite of software tools that help small businesses. And I'm really passionate about helping small business owners because they make up over 90% of all businesses in the US, and they generate 2/3 of net new jobs in our economy. Plus, my own mom was a small business owner, and I have always loved helping small business owners, and she's really inspired me to start my own software company. So before starting We Sparkle, I was the chief of strategic initiatives at a nonprofit that helps minority entrepreneurs succeed. And that's how I had the chance to meet Sabrina here. She owns SJC Body Love, which is a business that sells all natural body products such as lotions, soaps, and all natural products like that. She also teaches classes on how to create your own all natural body products. And she coaches clients one-on-one on how to build their own wellness and self-care routine. But like many of the business owners that I used to work with at Meta and that I've known over the years, she wastes about 68% of her time just on repetitive administrative tasks. So things like scheduling appointments with her clients and her customers, or answering the same questions over and over again from them. So this leaves her with very little time to actually do sort of those high-level marketing tasks that can actually help her increase her revenues. She, like many of the business owners I know, tells me that she feels like she's working in her business instead of on her business. And Sabrina's not alone. There are 99 million sole proprietors like Sabrina globally, and 44 million in the US. And they all, like Sabrina, are wasting a lot of their time just cobbling together these different software tools in order to be able to accomplish a task that they need as a business owner. That's why we came up with our first tool, which is the Sparkle Assistant. It's a conversational AI assistant or a digital assistant that helps you with doing things like scheduling appointments. So you can see here, we give Sabrina a phone number, a Sparkle number that people can text hi to, and this is showing how it schedules appointments. It can also answer frequently asked questions from your customers. So things like, where are you located? What are your hours during the pandemic? Are there any special precautions I need to do to prepare for my appointment? And it can also upsell your products or services during the booking process. So let's say you're a hairstylist and you have people book appointments for haircuts. You can upsell them a deep conditioning treatment while they're booking the appointment for $25 extra. So this helps to increase your revenues as a business owner. The assistant also automatically encourages customer reviews, which are really important for referrals and testimonials that you can use to attract new clients, new customers, and upsell some of your products and services. So it's available over a text message, which is what you were seeing there earlier, but it's also available on your business's Facebook page. So you see here on the left, this is it working over Facebook Messenger, which is on her Facebook page. It can also be displayed as a chat on the business's website. So that's what you're seeing here in the middle. And then if the business owner doesn't have a website, they can always use their Sparkle site, which is essentially a very simple microsite landing page where Sabrina can display all of her appointments that she has available. People can pay for those appointments. She can also display all of the links that she has to articles, podcasts, interviews that she's done, 1 Million Cups presentations maybe that she's done, And she can also sell her products there. And it's just a one-stop shop for her online business. We've been getting a lot of positive feedback from our customers so far. Our customers report saving between 1 to 5 hours a week in time. And as you know, time is money. They've also been reporting increase in sales. So Andrea here, who is a consultant, she puts the link to her Sparkle site in her email signature. And in the very first week, she had 4 new customers book appointments with her in consultations. And it's a really delightful, easy to use experience because you can just text message hi, ask questions. You don't have to navigate to another website or, go through a lot of downloading an app, remembering your login, all of those kinds of things. And so it's really easy for her to please her customers because it's so easy to use. And so we've been getting a lot of positive feedback from our customers. So I'm here today to get your feedback on our product, our platform, our presentation. We really encourage you to create your own account at wesparkle.co. The Sparkle sites are free forever, so you can just go ahead and get started putting your business logo in, or maybe your profile picture, creating any links that you have to articles, podcasts, videos, and displaying your products or services that you want to sell. We also ask you to spread the word to others who need to use these tools. If you know of any small business owners who just need to get started, maybe they don't want to invest in buying a domain or standing up a website and trying to find high resolution photos for their website, they can get started with their Sparkle site. And also, if you know of any potential investors or partners that we may be able to work with who work with small businesses or entrepreneurs, we'd love to connect with them and work with them to get these tools into the hands of people who need them. So thank you very much for letting your light shine and for helping others to shine so that together we sparkle.
Great, Michelle. Thank you very much. Great presentation. And a very cool looking AI with that. Well, you showed the demonstration on the text messaging, and impressive that it's cross-platform, that you've got it set up like that. First question from Eric, is WeSparkle suited more for B2C, business to consumer, or is there a function that's good for B2B businesses?
Yeah, so it's best suited for B2C, but we do have B2B clients using it. So they primarily use it for that scheduling piece, because even if you're B2B, you're often scheduling demos or consultations, initial consultations, maybe follow-up meetings. And so actually some of our power users, the people who use the scheduling side of things the most, are our B2B customers, because they're constantly scheduling demos. Even HR recruiters, they use it to schedule candidate interviews when they're interviewing to hire a new team member.
And Shreen asks, do you have a subscription fee, or what is your revenue model?
Yes, we charge a monthly or an annual subscription fee. Our first tier includes the scheduling side of things. It also does the encouraging of customer reviews, ratings, testimonials, referrals. The second tier is where you get the ability to customize frequently asked questions. So if you're starting to grow as a business, you're starting to get more questions, inquiries from your customers, you can actually customize what those look like. And I can show that really quick if you want. And essentially put in the answers, and it's actually leveraging artificial intelligence, natural language processing, and machine learning. So it's actually learning how to answer those questions better over time. So it knows synonyms like weekend means Saturday and Sunday, or what is the cost is the same as what are your prices, where are you located is the same as what's your address, and it will answer appropriately.
All right. So I guess that spurs a question for me. If on the second tier you can customize some of those frequently asked questions, those questions not available on the first tier, or is there a specific set of questions that are available?
Yes, so we do have 2 default questions. Let me share my screen here so you can see the back end a little bit. two default questions just so you can kind of see what they are, just really frequently asked questions like, where are you located? What's your appointment cancellation policy? And you can type in whatever you want, if you have an office location, if you charge people for the cancellation fee, or if you don't, you can put that in. And so those two default ones are in the first tier. But if you want to add more questions, like we've added some more around our prices, we've gotten questions about integrating with Google Calendar, things like that. That is the second tier. So that's $49 a month.
All right. Denny asks, where else are you marketing, and what are some of your short-term goals, and how would you define short-term versus some longer-term goals?
Yes. So for marketing, so before I started WeSparkle, I actually worked at an economic development organization. And so I worked a lot with small business owners. I'm also a mentor and instructor for Women Venture, which helps women entrepreneurs succeed. And so a lot of our early adopters have been businesses that we know through these economic development organizations. I actually used to coordinate 7 different economic development organizations in Minnesota. So it's been really helpful working with these entrepreneurship support organizations and getting the word out to the entrepreneurs in their networks. And so that's been really successful. We want to continue doing that. We even have enterprise level contracts with many of these organizations, like Junior Achievement, for example, which teaches young people, middle school, high school students, how to start a business. We have a contract with them where they essentially pay for these subscriptions, and then they distribute them to the student entrepreneurs that are in their network so that they can start their online businesses. And many of them have even continued on even after graduating from the program and are making side income, which helps them pay for college.
Right. Trevor asked for maybe a little bit more on your pricing model. And well, yeah, let's explore that a little bit.
Yeah, so we really encourage people to just get started. We don't want it to be a hurdle that, you're debating whether to start an account or not. So we do encourage people to set up the free account first. The pricing model is that if you want to add in the scheduling capability, the encouraging of customer reviews, that's $29 a month. It ends up being $300 a year if you pay for the annual. So it's a little bit cheaper. You save, some money, because it ends up being about $25 a month then. And then the higher tier, which is the customized FAQs, the automated upselling, that is $49 a month, and $45 if you do the annual plan. And that really, really pays for itself, because if it has the upselling, on average, our customers upsell, maybe 2 products a month. And if you price those at $25 each, then it's essentially paying for itself.
All right. How often do you upgrade your the questions that you're able to offer, or any features in the app?
So the questions we have unlimited number of questions and answers that you can add. And it's dynamic. So as soon as you add them, it might take like maybe a few seconds, but it's pretty instant, pretty immediate. You can even test it out by texting yourself or using the chat or your Facebook Messenger to test it out and see. We also show a preview here so you can see what it'll look like when the assistant answers it. You can also see a log of all the conversations your assistant's having with customers or potential customers, leads in the system as well. And we are constantly listening to our customers for feedback. We are a human-centered design company in the sense that we really believe in listening to our users. And so we talk with them every day, and all of the features that we've built out in the past year have really been based off of what customers have asked for. So there's even a feature, one of our customers was saying, I have Zoom fatigue. I don't want to have more than 4 appointments a day. So we thought others might have that as well. And so we added a feature where you can limit the number of appointments that are scheduled with you each day. So we're constantly listening to feedback. We do 2-week sprints. So every 2 weeks, we look at all of the requests or updates that people have requested or that we thought we need to do, and then we prioritize them. And then we actually publish them live every 2 weeks. So we're constantly adding or updating our product to make it easier for people to use and improve the experience.
Okay, great. Have you looked at any smart speaker, Alexa type apps or the skills for that?
Yes, definitely. So I'm sort of a futurist. I think that, you know, the future of the internet and of technology, we are moving toward, you know, fewer screens in order to accomplish tasks. You might not always need to stare at a screen in order to schedule a haircut. And so smart speakers are definitely something that we're looking at. We're starting with text message though, because there's still a long ways to go with voice technology. You know, I watched my own dad struggle to teach Siri how to recognize his voice, and Siri did not understand him. He's an English language learner. Vietnamese is his first language. And so, you know, there's still a long ways to go with voice because of all the different accents that people have. And so we really are starting with text message, but that's very easy to then translate into voice. It's just basically read aloud. And what I like about text message too, it's asynchronous communication. So with voice, you know, you kind of have to say things right then and there. You might be in your office and you don't want people to hear, you know, you scheduling an appointment. So text message is really nice because, you know, I can answer it quietly. I can, you know, come back to it later if I get caught or, you know, and need to do something else. And so that asynchronous communication is really nice.
And what are your sales like right now, and what kind of growth are you looking for?
Yeah, so right now we have about 12.2% in growth. That's our growth rate for our monthly recurring revenue. And we're really looking to expand our customer base, which is why I just started, you know, reaching out to people in the 1 Million Cups community. I actually coordinate the 1 Million Cups in Minneapolis. And so it's really interesting for me now to be on the other side talking with entrepreneurs about the tools that I have to offer. You know, I've worked with hundreds of entrepreneurs over the years. And so all of the features that we've built out are to make it super easy to use. You don't have to be super tech savvy. It's very simple and all in one platform, and really leveraging SMS. I don't think people, business owners especially, realize how powerful text message can be to increase your sales. You know, email open rates at best on average have a 20% open rate. But for SMS text message, it's more like 98%. Because, you know, you get those text messages on your phone. You're like, oh, I just want to check that. You know, it's really simple and easy. And so my goal, really, I'm passionate about helping small business owners increase their revenues. So whatever I can do to help them do that, that's why we built out the features and the tools that we have, is to help them increase their revenues.
Okay, great. I am going to turn things over to Eric for the final question, which I'm sure you're very familiar with.
Yep. You probably say it a few times every month. And that is, what can we as a community do for you?
Yeah, so it's really starting your free account, going to wesparkle.co, or paying for the paid account if you already know you need to do some scheduling. You don't want to go back and forth over email with people to find a time to meet. And also, you know, spreading the word to others and letting them know about these tools. If you know any solopreneurs, sidepreneurs, small business owners who could use these tools, please tell them to go to wesparkle.co. Melissa's also here, and she's on my team. She's our head of community. And so we'd be happy to even hop on a Zoom with you one-on-one and help you get set up correctly and set up for success. And then lastly, just any partnership ideas with economic development organizations, business support organizations in your community. We've worked a lot with entrepreneurship centers at different universities, or potential investors. You know, we're growing as a team. There's only 4 of us working full time on this. We need to continue growing. And so if you know of any investors who might be interested in helping entrepreneurs like Sabrina and others that we work with to get access to these tools, would love to talk with them.
Okay, great. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to jump back over to my slide presentation one more time so we can look at Rebecca's logo. That was the word I was looking for. N.O.C. Stat Care on Command. And Rebecca, why don't you tell us all about that? And I guess go ahead.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Eric. Hi guys. For those who are joining late, my name is Rebecca Paone. I'm the founder and CEO of U Healthcare. Our first application for U Healthcare's platform is called N.O.C. N.O.C. stat means Nurse On Call Stat, an on-demand caregiving application for people to find caregivers in their local community when you need it most. My personal story is about 9 years ago. My dad had an ischemic and hemorrhagic stroke after having a cardiac stent procedure. And, nothing ever goes to plan. Things happen, and our entire family had to turn into primary caregivers for my dad 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So using those family challenges and going through what we've gone through for the past 9 years, we've figured out where there's a miss in the in-home care industry, in addition to chronic long-term care issues for caregivers. So my contact is there, our social media. So please feel free to connect with us and find out more information. So I want you to meet Maria. Maria is our avatar, our customer. She is part of the sandwich generation. The sandwich generation is between the ages of 30 to 60. They have dependent children in the home, and they're responsible for actually caring for an adult loved one. She is a working professional. She's usually working 35 to 40 hours a week. She is at risk financially if she has to leave her job for an extended period of time to take FMLA or whatever it may be to take care of their loved one. They've tried the traditional in-home care agencies or daycare facilities, but they just don't fit what they need for her at those times. And also, nursing facilities are not completely desired by the patient, and they're really not truly affordable when it's actually cheaper to keep your family at home. And that struggle of work-life balance is always that challenge, whether we're trying to regularly have a job, but when a caregiving situation is put in the middle of it, it's 100 times worse. So we want you to have the Uber meets Rover for human caregiving. It's a two-sided marketplace gig application, just like Uber, just like Lyft, just like any other application that you've probably used already in life. You can hire skilled or non-skilled care, skilled meaning your CNAs, nurses, LPNs. We also have respiratory therapy, speech, occupational, and physical therapy. All of our services are based on your care level at a flat hourly rate, and you can book it on demand, just like you would for an Uber pickup, or you can book it in advance. We do a much more extensive background check than the traditional state legislation has in current place. We are doing a national federal background check, sexual predator background check. In addition to, there is an elder abuse in certain states. There are elder abuse databases where if anybody's been convicted of elder abuse, we can pull that information as well. This application itself gives our users the ability to control on who they hire. And the care provider comes to you. You don't have to leave your home. You don't have to prep really too much of anything. It's just having somebody kind of step in to help you. And just like Uber and Lyft, all of our billing is handled through the application itself. It is a gig economy platform, so we do bring together those patients and our care providers together. We do have a flexible work opportunity where our base take-home rate, which is what we consider companion care, is at $15 an hour. Our base structure for the state of Florida is $20 an hour for companion care services, and our care providers actually net 75%. Families and patients are able to plan ahead with our application, or they can actually really use our application for those emergencies that happen where you might have a child that's sick and you have to go pick them up from school and take them to the doctor's office, but who can, leave when you have your grandma at home that can't be left for too long by herself. We also have the ability to have our customers save time and money compared to other solutions. If you ever have used a traditional in-home care agency or nurse registry, it's cheaper the more hours you have them in your home. The less hours in your home, the more expensive they become. And actually, if you need them for like only 2 hours so you can go grocery shopping, they usually charge about $30 to $50 an hour, which is kind of ridiculous. Our USP, we are the true, and I hate to say it, the Uber of on-demand caregiving. A lot of our competitors use that Uber type of label, but they're really not. Our extensive background checks are more extensive than our other competitors and traditional in-home care agency mandates. We have personality profile testing, so people understand who's coming into their home, so they have a much better fit with the person that is going to help out their loved one. We do have the flat rate care level pricing, so that makes it much more affordable, much more flexible, and we're much more dependable. And we have the hyperlocal option where you're hiring somebody within a 5-mile radius so they can get to you faster than pizza delivery. And we take a position of being an advocate for our patients and our families. We are not a marketing site like our competitors in the marketplace, like care.com, Honor, A Place for Mom, things like that. Now, to talk a little bit about the actual industry itself, there's two sides. There's the professional side, and then there's the unpaid caregiver home care side. As you can see, it's a really huge industry. It's almost, $100 billion. It's employed a lot of people. There's going to be an extensive growth due to COVID. We understand there is a huge need in the healthcare industry. And I really think that 5% prediction, which was created back in 2020 before the actual COVID crisis happened, it should be about 10% growth in revenue and employment through 2025, I think. No one company in this entire industry has more than 1% market share. So this whole industry is wide open. Now, the other side is the unpaid family care, like I told you, and 1 in 6 working Americans are actually caregiving on the side for a loved one. And actually 1 in 5 adults are actually being a caregiver in the home. Now, if we could actually support these people, we would be able to boost our employment opportunities for our people and have that flexibility, because almost 70% of our families have to rearrange hours, they have to lose hours, they have to take pay. And it's affecting our actual economy, where if we could support them, we could actually boost our economy by $1.7 trillion by 2030. For our application, we are in the concept stage. We already have everything ready to go for development, but our go-to-market strategy is twofold. We have obviously a two-sided marketplace. We have 2 groups of people to focus on, which are our care providers, which would be us going to nursing schools. We're going to be advertising on job boards, social media, talking to people that we know for referral, going through the traditional marketing mix, and working with senior healthcare groups in the area, which I'm already affiliated with 3. Our other side is for the patients and families. Obviously, we're going to talk to our competitors, these traditional in-home care agencies that can't do the emergency type services, which is less than 72 hours in advance. We're going to be able to partner with them and hopefully allow their patients to come and use us. We won't deliberately try to steal them, but if our services are better, we're open for business. We also will be talking to case management, social workers in the hospital systems, patient offices or physician offices, outpatient centers, and other places where care management is needed. Obviously, still with the social media and traditional marketing mixes and other outside referrals. How we generate revenue is through a flat 25% transaction fee. Everything is extremely transparent from start to finish. We try to keep it as simple, unlike other two-sided marketplace models where they now charge a service fee, this fee, that fee, cleaning fee, and then the money that you actually thought you were going to be spending upfront is actually double on the back end. Our annual background checks and credentialing, they have to be done annually, so we'll have a slight profit taking a little bit from that. And in our phase 2, we're actually going to be doing branded merchandise. So our care providers and families can purchase products like uniforms, cleaning supplies, anything that we can do. We have our own little one-stop shop marketplace. Our main expenses coming up, obviously, is our IT development itself. We also have a lot of legal and insurance to go through, not only with corporate insurance, but we want to make sure our providers have the ability to access insurance if they want to have a liability coverage. We are in that little gray area where we're considered a two-sided marketplace, but I know that there's going to be competitors accusing us of being a traditional agency. So we want to make sure we're covered on our bases legally. We have to have our go-to-market strategy and also our covering costs until we're profitable, which is right now modeled at about 16 months. So our revenue goal, we're going to start here in the Tampa Bay region with Pasco, Pinellas, and Hillsborough County. And then there's plans to expand within the rest of Florida over 12 months with a national and international growth plan. Now, to kind of give you an idea of how much we're actually looking at for first year gain, we're trying to look at kind of what the average was. And on the previous slide, 85% of our care level is probably going to be care level 1 and 2, which is companion care, and having a CNA who's, you know, able to do transfers and toileting and things like that, about $24 an hour. We want to kind of just leverage about 8 hours out of the week to help families. Normal average family caregiver situation is about 24.4 hours a week. We just want to leverage 1 day out of the week to help them out. So if we expect that with an average transaction rate of 250 transactions a week, sorry, it'll be about 2.5 million in 1 year. This is our team. Myself, I come from a healthcare background with working for Baycare Health System. I also have been taking care of my dad for 9 years. That's why I'm in Pennsylvania right now, to take care of him a little bit. Jerome Hermogenes, he's actually on the call today. He is my CTO. He comes from a startup technology background and also healthcare. He's a former Navy medic, and he's a certified nurse as well. And I have a junior developer in Venice, Florida, and then I have a couple of other advisors who've been advising me throughout this process. So at this point, I have my Q&A, and then, yeah, so this picture, by the way, is actually from the Dr. Phil show. My sister was on the show with my dad to talk about what it's like to be a young caregiver in her early 20s and in college, taking care of her dad full time. And I know this is always the last question of the day. How can 1 million cups help us? We are looking for investor contacts. We're looking for 500,000 just to get us to build and to launch. And then we're going to be doing second round funding after about 3 months of generating revenue for another 1.25 million to make sure we can complete at least our 1 year expansion program. Looking also for contacts for nursing and program administrators. We're looking for attorney for corporate liability, terms of agreement, letter of opinion, things like that. Marketing company and a corporate insurance broker. So that's pretty much everything in a nutshell for me. And I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Rebecca. Very good presentation, well put together and very informative. And I think you did touch on this first question from Eric about different levels of skilled care, from, you know, just someone sitting with or helping with some very, very basic needs versus nursing. How far up the scale do you think you would have someone go as far as skills that are available?
We have a plan of 6 care levels. Care level 1 companion care is basic cooking, cleaning, and sitting with them, having a chat. That is non-skilled care. That's pretty simple. We don't want them to try to do any lifts, transfers, or stuff like that. But the highest we do have on plan is respiratory therapy. I have a couple of friends who are having children, pediatric patients, and adult patients that have tracheotomies, or have other ventilation systems where they have a lot of respiratory care with oxygen tanks. That we would be able to have a respiratory therapist come in and provide the, you know, cleaning of the trach system, or being able to secure, making sure that the machines are correct and everything's going honky-dory. But we also are looking to do physical, occupational, and speech therapy as well, to give it a little bit more flexibility and to do private pay. And the highest level we're expecting is probably going to be RN, LPN, but we're not going to be doing medical practice advisory. So we're not going to have a electronic medical record database at this point. That's not the plan. It's just people to offer services to, you know, be able to do wound care, to get medication management, to do, you know, diabetes injections, compression stockings. Let's see, like if my dad has eye drops, that's considered a treatment. So it's not medication, it's a treatment. So those types of things, those would be done by LPNs, RNs, or ARNPs. But I'm expecting people throughout the healthcare industry who just want to kind of use their license and medical education, tactile education to, come into the home maybe a couple hours a week, especially if they're doing 3 or 4 days a week, 12-hour days, and they got nothing else to do on the other 3 days. They want to kind of pick up a couple of extra bucks here and there. I am hoping that they would be interested in doing some work like that.
You mentioned the charge starting at 15 an hour, and you said here in Florida starting at 20 an hour. Are you following what's happening with minimum wage laws and making sure that, I think you mentioned 75% goes to the
Care provider, yeah.
Care provider, yeah.
So our care level 1 in the state of Florida, the rate is $20 an hour. That's for the cooking, cleaning, and sitting with a companion care service. So for that level, at their take-home pay is 75% of $20, which is $15 an hour.
Don comes up with a good question. The Medicare Advantage plans do cover this type of care. Have you figured that into your marketing and how you're competing with free?
Well, for us, what we're trying to do first is private pay only, because most people don't have the insurance that covers it. With Medicare and Medicaid, it's a very complicated system. That's going to be our phase 3 to phase 4 program. It's a lot of work to deal with Medicare, Medicaid. I know a lot of billing issues that I talk to doctors' offices with already. Even my own personal insurance, they have, complications with trying to get payment. So we're trying to have the cash flow up front with private pay and having that revenue already there. So when we do go to a Medicare, Medicaid, or insurance billing, or even going through the VA program, which is one of our goals to connect with, we can have enough cash flow to cover 30, 60, 90-day net payment from Medicare, Medicaid, which that's how long usually most of the billings take to get paid.
Okay. Yeah, I think Don would like you to explore that a little bit deeper. And you may get, as you're looking for investment, just make sure that you've got that covered as you're moving forward. I've got a question. Because you are comparing it to Uber, and if I'm using Uber every few days, I'm not going to get the same driver every time. What if one of your customers decides that, hey, I really like the care that I've gotten from this particular provider? Is there something that you're looking at so that they're able to maybe request a specific person if there's a good relationship that or trust that's built up there, and continue that through your program?
Yep. As soon as a service is completed, we already have the ability to book advance appointments. So whenever you have an advance appointment, anybody who's within that care level that they're selecting for the services, they're within a 5-mile geographic radius. If they're on that list and they're available for that particular care level that they need, they can select that person again to do an advance appointment.
How can you talk a little bit about your vetting process for your providers?
So with our vetting process, we have a background check company that we have a partnership agreement that we're looking to work with. We're charging $69.95 for the background check. The care provider actually pays for that, so they have skin in the game. That background check is completed. Once everything is found out to be honky-dory, they're all set. They go through our onboarding process, which is educational videos that they have to complete, just like an Uber or Lyft driver has to do. They go through those education videos. Once they have completed those, then they can go active onto the system. When it's a skilled level care person, there's also credentialing, which is done through the state of Florida website. It's really simple and easy, but the background check company still completes that. And that's an additional $20 charge for skilled nursing care. In the nursing care industry, their licenses every single year have to be renewed, and they do actually pay to have their license renewed. I pay to have my real estate license renewed every year or every 2 years. So it's a cost of having that business. So we consider this like having your own individual business. You are going to have expenses, and they can write that off on their taxes at the end of the year.
What about your insurance liability situation with this? I imagine you've got something in place for covering yourself against.
We've been trying to find an insurance broker to talk to, but they want a letter of opinion from an attorney to determine exactly what our official liability would be as a two-sided marketplace model. Obviously, we're going to have our own corporate liability. We're looking at also having individual liability policies for our care providers to buy on their own. Skilled nursing care workers have to buy their own insurance policies to begin with. So that's kind of the normal thing in the industry. But for our companion care level people, we want to encourage them. And it's a very nominal cost of about $30 to $50 a year.
All right. Well, I think Don is offering himself up as someone that you can maybe talk to with Kirkendall Insurance. He is an expert in the field, so he might be able to provide you with some information, maybe going forward, and a little bit of direction with that. I am going to, at this point, even though you kind of addressed it, turn it over to Eric for our final question.
All right. Great job, Rebecca, and thank you very much. So is there anything else that we in Orlando can do for you?
My biggest thing at this point is to make contacts with investors. I have been ready to chomping at the bit trying to build this, and everybody's like, oh, just build the application and start bringing on people. That's not really how this industry works, especially when it is a high risk category for liability. I'm not one of those companies that can just build it and go out there and start making clients. There's a lot of rules and regulations that I have to go through. So if you know of any investors that like to come in at early stage before an MVP, we can show them everything that we're doing. We already have everything developed. We've gone through a lot of the what if scenarios. How do we overcome these challenges? And we're just ready to rock and roll and build. We just don't have the funding right now to do what we need to do.
Okay, great. All right. Well, thank you very much. One thing I would recommend for both of you is to drop in your contact information into the chat. And Don, you should probably do the same. And if anybody else has a suggestion for Michelle or Rebecca, drop your information into the chat as well. And then be sure to save that before we sign off here in a couple of minutes. So I'm going to share my screen one final time and we'll close this out. So next week, we're going to have Miriam Dorset of Quokka or Waka. I can't remember how she pronounced it. She will actually be returning to tell us what her company is doing lately. And then Chris Kremitzos of Podfest Multimedia Expo is going to be on and tell us about Podfest. You may all remember Chris from last year. If anybody has gone to Podfest Expo when it was Podfest Expo, now it's the Podfest Multimedia Expo. So they're getting bigger. So we'll be hearing from both of them next week. And in the meantime, download the chat. Try to connect with somebody that you met here today. Just reach out and have coffee or meet on Zoom. And then be sure to join the meetup group, meetup.com/1 million cups Orlando. And each word there is hyphenated. And then you will get our regular updates about our next meeting and who our next speakers are. And so, nope, we're not doing that. So in the meantime, I will say goodbye and I will see you all in 1 week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle and Rebecca.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Yeah, you both did great. Susan, did you want to say something? You're muted. Okay.
I was, Michelle, I'll connect with you. Anyways.
Great, thank you. I just copied your contact information, so I got it.
I think I got it all. A little
right.
typo. Anyways.
All right,
Have a
thank
great-
you.
Great presentation, really good.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.